Let me get that. Okay, so we're now recording, and I just want to remind everybody, just for, this is conference week, and usually we don't have calls through conference week, but this was Monday. It felt far enough ahead of conference that we could do it, number one. And number two, tomorrow night, we would normally have our 6 o'clock call for our Cotton Club Turn Up the Heat celebration, which we are not having tomorrow night, but everybody that's being celebrated, there will be slides posted on the Cotton Club Turn Up the Heat Facebook group. So you can still congratulate, comment, and share with anybody that, you want to let them know that you saw that they made a new position, or they did a 5-and-1, or they're a hot shot, or whatever. So that will be going on Facebook. And then tomorrow night, instead of, so funny, in Spanish came right up to me. I was going to go en vez de, I don't know where that came from. Instead of our normal Take Healthy Back call, we are still using for right now the Healthy Living Affiliates call, which happens at 5:30 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night. And those are ones that you can invite anybody to. They're not just for distributors. They really are for your customers, just like you would invite to Take Healthy Back. And that's why we're using those for a while to see if that makes a difference, or we want to interchange between our Take Healthy Back and those. And also, if you are on our Boxer event chat, you'll notice that people are still doing Take Healthy Back. There's some pop-up Take Healthy Back calls that I'm really excited about that people are doing anyway, even though there is the Living Healthy affiliate calls, which is kind of taking over for right now. So with that said, we are in Juice Plus University. We are on class 3, I believe. We have Michelle Iglewski and Caprice Crebar who are doing our trainings tonight. In fact, I'm going to get me, I don't know if I'm very much on, but it doesn't matter. So you can see your 2 teachers for tonight, our professoras. They're going to teach us all about, they're going to have us respond. I'm hoping you'll all play fully because this is very interactive. So again, it's habit 3 from Ditch the Pitch, which is, how do we get people in a yes head mindset? And the other one is, I forget, what's this one on specifically, Caprice?
It's making your prospect feel like the hero and you're the guide.
Right. Being the hero and you're the guide. So at this point, I'm going to be quiet and turn this over to you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nikki. And I'm so excited to share with you all today. And it's so fun. It's so fun how these fit together and merge together. So I'm going to start with habit number 3, our yes habit. Hold on one second. I was on the wrong page there. Yes. Create a series of yeses. So how many times have you been in a conversation and you feel like it sometimes doesn't go anywhere, or it ends up being a no, or you want to correct them and say, yes, but, and that always seems like it's correcting a person instead of yes, and. At the beginning of this chapter, he describes we've talked a lot about improvisation, and that's been happening like the past couple of weeks, which is fantastic. I want to share a little bit of a story of my background because it really fits with the Yes and program. I was in the music world for forever. I'm a music teacher. I presently teach choir again. But I remember many moons ago when I was doing my senior recital in college, in another form of improvisation, I was in the middle of my recital and I was singing a song in French and I totally blanked out and forgot it. And I literally made up the song as I went along. And it's being accompanied. My accompanist, who is on the piano, is a very good friend of mine. And I could see her face looking at me like, I have no idea where you are, but I'm just going to roll with it. So she just kind of played things to fit with whatever I did. And I ended the song. I made it up. I don't even know if I was singing French, but it was part of one of those things where you just go with the flow and the show must go on. And I feel like sometimes the yes and is that where taking that and turning a conversation that would have been just would stop dead because you didn't agree with someone into maybe something that you could go yes and offer another opportunity. So today I would like to do a little role play. Nikki, I'm almost wondering if we should have it where we can see all of us.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. So let me get that happening for you. Hold on one second.
So while that's happening, just the thought of yes and they even mentioned in this habit that you don't always have to say yes and. The anticipation is that it is a yes, that the conversation is moving forward in some way, shape, or form. So that's the point of yes and. If you don't think of anything else or can't think of anything else, I would just say yes and decide, like you're agreeing with, and this, scenario. So I thought maybe it'd be fun to do a little role play, and I don't know if anybody here is willing to play or if I just need to assign some people's. The more you play, the more you grow and learn, and the more you get to have those conversations. Is anybody dying to role play with yes and? We will have 2 people.
I will.
Awesome, fantastic. And is that Noreen? You had a number,
Yes.
but I think I've seen you on calls enough to know that's Noreen. And Barry, did you have your hand up as well?
Yep.
Fantastic. You guys are awesome. Okay, so in this scenario, Noreen, I'm going to have you be the person who's just going to start a conversation. And Barry, I want you to be the person who comes up with something that maybe isn't quite so positive. And I want Noreen to kind of play with it and see if she can't still find something as a yes and towards that conversation. Does that make sense?
Absolutely good.
Okay, all right.
Hi, what was your name?
I'm
Steve?
Barry. Hi, Barry. Hi,
Barry.
Noreen.
Oh, hi, Barry. How are you?
Great, except for
Good.
what didn't work today, but whatever.
What didn't work today? What was up with that?
Well, I didn't take my Juice Plus for the last 4 days, and I'm kind of down on myself.
Yes.
I was off
and
camping, and I brought it, but I didn't pull it out, and I just feel. I mean, I started taking it today, and that's good, but I kind of feel like I didn't really do what I said I was going to do.
Yes, and if you notice, when you're not taking that Juice Plus, you get out of the habit.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. What would make it a little easier for you to remember when you're out camping like that?
Instead of bringing the bottles, I think if I brought the little square thing, let you put the tabs in and then put a little note, maybe morning and night, and put it in a place I can find it. When I'm off camping, I got too much stuff, so it's kind of hard to remember, hard to find it.
Yes, that sounds like that would work, and you'd be able to take them each day. That would work. Absolutely.
That's
What I
awesome.
do.
Oh, go ahead.
okay.
No, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Yes, what I do is I have a pill container. And so we're taking it first thing in the morning and the last thing at night. But when you're off schedule like that, it is more difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I like the idea of having a schedule. That I think I just kind of blew the schedule when I was off camping.
Yes. And do you like the Juice Plus?
Well, particularly when I take it, but that's not always, but usually.
It doesn't do much good when you're not taking it, does it? Yes. And it needs to just become a habit.
Oh yeah, I like that. I do like that, a habit. I think what I'm taking away from today is creating a habit, how I can do habits when I'm not. See, normally at home, I have the bottles are there. I brush my teeth. I take them. I go to sleep. I take them. It's like boom, boom, boom. So it's like creating a habit when my daily routine is different. I think that's good.
That's it. Well, that was a good idea of the little containers like you were talking about. That sounds like a good idea. Next time you're out of town, think about that.
Before I go.
Before you go. Absolutely.
My gosh,
you.
you guys are fantastic. Like you led right, maybe a little too good, but that was fantastic. And it was so fun to watch Noreen, how it was always a yes. And her and was always like maybe a suggestion, but she never did a yes, oh, but you should, or try this. It was an and even asking great questions, which was fantastic, which I kind of feel like Caprice, that's going to fit right into where you're headed. So I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to turn it over to you because I think this just seamlessly works where you are headed for this next section.
Yes, it really does. And I love how the Ditch the Pitch and the Story Brand are really aligning and complementing each other. So I read up on chapter 6 in Story Brand just to refresh my memory, and it's, I feel like one of the best chapters in the book. They're all good. Though I just want to start with the main concept of it, which is we want to make our prospects and our customers feel like they're the hero of the story in the movie. You know, in so many good movies, the hero has a goal, you know, to triumph in the end. And there's a guide that is kind of their sidekick that's giving them sound advice to help them win. And that's what we want our customers and prospects to feel like, that we're the guide helping them win in some way. So the book talks about always positioning your customer as the hero, your brand is the guide. And it's pretty harsh, but it says if you don't, you'll die. So it's a really important concept. And the first day that we start losing, or that we stop losing sleep about our business and start losing sleep over the success of our customers, putting our customers first as the hero, rather than talking about our stuff and making us feel like we're the hero, they're the hero. That's the day that your business will start growing. So I want to start with something fun here, just to kick it off with in the movies. I'd love to hear just popcorn if you want to shout out. Who are some of the heroes and the guides that you recall in the big screen? There's one key one that I think a lot of you will know if you think about it. One major, there's a lot of them, but one that's super, super famous guide. And Nikki, can you put this on the gallery screens? Thank you.
Sure. And you know, you can change that whenever you want as well on yours, but I think you already know that.
It doesn't show though. That mine won't show on the live stream, how I'm looking at it.
I think of Dumbledore in Harry Potter.
Absolutely. That's one of them for sure. How about another one?
Yoda. Exactly.
Yoda. I mean, Luke Skywalker would not have prevailed and come back to beat Darth Vader without Yoda's sound advice. What's one more? This is a fun one, but going back to my teenage years.
Oh God, there's so many. It's so funny how you.
There's so many.
It's every movie you've seen, actually.
There's so many. You can name any. They don't have to be the one that I'm picking.
Well, I'm kind of thinking of the Indiana Jones movies. You know, there's always a villain, there's always him, and there's always some sidekick that helps navigate the scene.
Yes. And the Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, remember him? Yeah.
Really.
So those are just some examples, and we want to be the Yoda, you know, to our prospect, our client who is the hero. And so in order to do that, there's two things that a brand must communicate to position themselves as the guide. And the first one is empathy. So it's really important that you earn the trust. And this is where it ties into what Michelle was just explaining, because that whole demonstration that Noreen and I'm sorry, I'm totally blanking on name. Barry, that Noreen and Barry did, it was a whole series of affirmations, just affirming each other, making them feel like they heard one another. And Noreen did a great job at being the guide to Barry's solution, which he summarized so well at the end. And you know, the first one being empathy, it's really important to empathize with their problem. You know, really get to how they're feeling about their problem. The feelings are key, how they feel, not necessarily the problem, but internally how they feel. So I'd love to do another quick role play here. Let's do this more like a popcorn style. It's not going to be the series of yeses like Michelle just went through with you. More of, you know, someone state their feelings and somebody else about a problem, and then somebody that's related to Juice Plus, and somebody responds with empathy. Who wants to start?
I'm not sure what you're asking to do in terms of the feelings about Juice Plus. Can you like give us one example?
Just a problem. It's somebody's expressing their problem.
Oh,
maybe
right.
Maybe it's not Juice Plus, but about eating fruits and vegetables, whatever it might be. And then you're going to respond with empathy.
Yeah, I thought you meant a problem with Juice Plus. I got confused.
Sorry.
Yeah. I always
I'll start because I just had.
I'm sorry. Go on, Kirsten.
That's okay.
You go.
Go ahead, Nikki.
You go.
I just had a customer say, I didn't order this 6 months when you sent me information because I just saw all the Google reviews that, really didn't line up and didn't really substantiate all the research stuff you sent me.
So she has a problem with trust. She doesn't trust Use Plus. That's the problem. Is that right? Okay.
Right. She listened to Google and not research studies.
So how do you show empathy? Somebody show empathy towards that comment. She's feeling frustrated and with what she's heard. It's probably opposing what she's been told thus far. So how do you empathize with that? Make her feel heard and understood.
I think I would say something like, I've heard from a lot of people that get really confused because there's so many products to look at and there's so much information out there. It gets kind of jumbled up and confused. So I totally understand. I hear what you're saying. What are you looking for?
I just want, I got a diagnosis of diabetes last week and my cholesterol's through the roof.
Wow. I had that very same problem, and there's some things in our lifestyle that we can do to help us out. Did the doctor talk to you about it at all?
Yeah, she actually recommended me to you through the Wellness Plus program.
Oh, great. That's super. Did she talk to you at all about things that might not be serving you or things that could serve you better?
Yeah, she did. And I know I don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. So I'm kind of grudgingly coming back and admitting that I probably need to try this stuff, even though I don't want to.
So what's, when you say you don't want to,
I'm going to stop you right here, Carrie. That was beautiful. You both did a great job, and Carrie did an outstanding job of making you, I feel like she would have made me feel really understood. And she also did something that would make me feel that she could relate. So you want to express the empathy as if, it's you, and really be like, I understand you, I feel you, I've been there, and that you did a fantastic job. Does anybody else want to try out a problem? Just express the problem in quickly, and then somebody else respond with empathy. So maybe someone says, I am so frustrated because as much as I cook really healthy meals for my family and I try to make them tasty and yummy, my kids just still won't eat any fruits and vegetables. It's so frustrating, and I just don't know what to do about it. How would someone express empathy to me?
I know some of you know the answers here. Just go for it. Suzanne or Nancy, what might you say to somebody who said, I'm really frustrated? How could you empathize with them?
I don't have any children, so I would say, but I have friends that have picky eaters, and that a lot of times in those instances, sometimes they like the chewables, the little gummies, and that would help them to get their fruits and vegetables.
That's great. And you can say that it doesn't have to be a child, but there's people, adults that complain about that. So that's really great. And just affirming this kind of ties into the yes and piece of it. Yes, I hear you. That's frustrating. And I've had people in my family that it's just, I can totally relate with that. It's a tough problem. And I have a solution for you. So, but that empathy is really important because you're letting them know you understand. And Oprah Winfrey explained that the three things every human being wants most are to be heard, understood, and seen. And it's the essence of empathy. So you're just expressing to them that you understand their pain, the problem.
Can I add one little thing to that, Nancy, also? I love your suggestion, like that the chewies might be a solution. And before you offer the solution, give a little bit more empathy. I can only imagine, I don't have kids, but I have friends and I've heard them say it's frustrating tell me more about what that's like, because I don't know. In other words, if you ask the question about the feeling before you have the solution, it gets them a little bit more connected to you. So if you can go a little deeper into the empathy before you have the solution, it will create a more powerful conversation.
And that's absolutely right. Thanks for chiming in, Nikki. So the second way that we make the customer or prospect feel like the hero and we're the guide is to show them your authority. And that can be a little challenging because we don't want to be just acting, you know, cocky and pompous. And although in your communications, you can mention things that will increase your credibility in your marketing statements. And so, you know, when someone's looking for a guide, the hero trusts somebody who they feel knows what they're doing. So the guide does not have to be perfect. You know, you absolutely do not have to be perfect, but you have to have some experience helping other heroes, you know, save their day. So there are 4 ways that you can communicate authority. And I'll just ask you to throw out some ways that you think we could do that. There's 4. So take some guesses, take some stabs at it.
Experience?
What did you say?
Experience?
In what way? What kind of experience? How would you share your experience?
Well, like your own experience or your own story.
True. I mean, experience is key. You have, I mean, you can't, when you have a story, it definitely impresses upon someone that you've walked the walk and you're talking the talk. So yes, that's not one of the 4, but that I think that could easily be in there that the book mentions. Any other ideas?
Could we pull from the experience and longevity of the company, like you know,
Yes.
to add credibility? So our company is longstanding, and we've got 42 and counting research studies.
Absolutely. So awards, statistics, definitely those are in the list of the 4. And you know what, and testimonials, I was thinking third party, but your own story is a testimonial of the results of using Juice Plus. So that was in the 4 as testimonial. But certainly, Kirsten, any statistics, I mean, we've got all that research. We're so fortunate to be able to have that to raise the credibility of Juice Plus and the company behind it. Any other ideas? This one's a little, the last one's a little tough.
It says logos.
Right.
I'm cheating. I'm reading the book.
Good. Well, that's okay. You're contributing. That's awesome.
But it says, this sound, I have to be honest, I didn't get a chance to read this, but when I just look at it briefly, it says it sounds more like business to business as opposed to person to person. But it says when somebody recognizes another business that we've worked with, it provides a social proof that we have the ability to help them win the day. So I guess maybe for us, if we have mutual connections with people, and we could say, oh yeah, you know, this has helped them tremendously, or you might want to check with this person, or, you know, if there's.
Yeah, I think that could go on. That's, I feel like, yes. And the testimonials, that seems like it would be testimonial related.
Right.
The logos, there's some examples in our company. The logos of research institutions that allow us to use their name and their logo to increase credibility. There's when we have the Olympiads who are using Juice Plus, you know, we love to show the Olympic rings, and with other, even with the nonprofits that we support, you know, they're huge nonprofits that we're aligned with. I mean, all of those things raise the credibility of Juice Plus in our company. So I think that's the way I saw it, you know, coupled with you know, like you're saying, somebody who's we have all those athletes. So what you're saying is correct, because look at the athletes that use Juice Plus. They're not particularly a logo, but maybe what they're associated with is the logo, but the athlete is increasing the credibility, you know, for us. So that what she said is definitely, I think, a part of that.
I was even thinking with Tower Garden, with rooftop gardens and, you know, different places that in the San Diego Stadium, or is it the Giant, sorry, not San Diego,
Yes.
the Giant Stadium, but different things like that, that's, you know, would that can be part of that?
Yes, I think so. I think so. So to wrap it up, so there was testimonial, statistics, awards, and logos. And to wrap it up, yeah, there in the book it mentions Amy Cuddy said that human beings value trust so highly. It's only after trust is established that a person begins to consider getting to know us further. So if we can show that we really care and express that empathy when they're speaking to us, and so that they feel like, okay, she's in my court, she or he's in my court. And then we're able to also demonstrate experience, expertise in those ways we just discussed, then they're going to trust us more and want to get us know us further and trust what we're offering. So once we express the empathy and demonstrate our authority, we can position our brand Juice Plus as the guide our customer has been looking for. And with that, you know, that's all she wrote. So are there any other comments about that, or anything you think I may have missed if you read the book that you want to throw out? But thank you for your awesome contributions.
Absolutely. I really like too what you had said from the beginning, because the way Noreen and Barry did their role playing really tagged into what you were talking about as the hero and the guide. It's like Noreen totally guided Barry into coming up with his own solution as to what he can do with taking his capsules. So yeah.
Great. Thank you, Michelle.
Yep. Thank you. And thank you everyone for participating.
You're on mute, Nikki. Nikki, you're on mute.
Class 3 has been completed. We had great professors tonight. I'm going to suggest that if you haven't read the chapters, go back, look at them, underline and take a few notes, because the deeper you get into this, the more it will be available to you in conversations, and the more natural it will become. So I think
Thank you.
good.
And
All
thanks
right,
for showing up. Bye, everybody.
Good night,
Yep.
everybody.
Nice night.